Hello everyone, I'm High Treason and welcome back to Let's Play The Long Drive. We still haven't found a radiator. We're still in this skirter because we've not seen another car. And we're not in really good shape right now, are we? Well, let's not just drive it against a handbrake. Oh god, that will overheat it. It's the same day. Where's my other lighter? I'm putting this in my other pocket so I don't keep pulling this slightly dodgy light. Fucking hell, that was a bang. I'll show you a bang. I'll bang you. People used to use bang somebody with two meanings. There was bang you, as in I'm going to bang you, as in I'm going to knock you out. And there was bang you, as in I'm going to bang you, as in I'm going to have sex with you. It's like, can you make your mind up? That's a bit of an... Man. I don't know who comes up with this shit. At least we're losing the grass biome at last, because that sucked. Our starting distance was 530. So that means we have to, what, get to 580 if we're still in this car, which there's a very real chance we will be. Hey man, it's not that I don't want to change car, it's just cars are really rare when we get out here. We're still at 100k ahead of our target, at least, like, you know, for total distance, technically more, as we know. So we do have that going for us, for now at least. Of course, that might change if this continues. Still, I do wish we were getting those long lines of haunted houses again, because those are more likely to have cars in them. Can we at least get a workshop? And not one that's just fucking empty. Our luck has been so bad for the last couple of parts, it really has. Wow, that makes my steering wheel rattle. It sounds like it has gears in it, like cogs, nylon ones. Probably does. Okay, that looks like something. I'm going to say a little gas station next to the glinting of the outhouse. Why are the outhouses so shiny? I mean, if people are pissing in them, wouldn't that mess the metal up? We have to stop at it. We can't take the chance. Please be a radiator. At least we're starting on a downhill. I don't see a radiator. The game is just hell-bent on not helping us right now. It's like it wants us to fail in our mission. But I interpret that as it daring me, like it's pushing me, like, you can't do it, but you can't do it. Well, fuck you, game, I can do whatever I want. We're not going down there, because it's damn near impossible to get out again. Yeah, I'll check on the roof, but... So don't dare me. That has gotten me into a lot of trouble. Been dared. Yeah, you're down there. Wow, she grabbed me then. Did you see that? I couldn't move. That was weird. I can't drink. There's no way I've used that. Little. What was that ping? He flicked to control when I got in. Yeah, I suppose now when we can't drive much is a good time to tell you that story. It's kind of why I saved it, in case something like this happened. About Lauren, the strange ginger-haired girl. You see, that came about because of daring. You see, when I was... my age was just getting in double figures. There was this girl I'd known since I was like 5. I used to hang out with, and it was really weird because I'd moved house and I'd been to her house several times, so I knew she lived on the street I'd moved to, but somehow I just never thought of that. And I saw her every day at school. She was one of my best friends, and just never occurred to me, like, hey, if I walk, like, you know, 20 houses that way, that's where she lives. You know, I could go and hang out with her. And I think I just ran into her one day on the street. I mean, it's not like we didn't walk back home from school. and just I went left and she went right on the same street. Because there was obviously another street connected to it in the middle. But yeah, I ended up, she practically just lived at my fucking house. And we just used to hang out in the garden, like, all the time. And there was, like, you know, because we were hanging out in there, I was like, well, I want to just sit on the grass. So I'm like, oh, I'll just build, like, chairs, you know. What I could do with a table, well, I'll just build a table. And, you know, I met some of their friends who didn't go to my school. There was, like, this prissy blonde girl, Alice. Obviously, I'm not using real names here. You know, and she used to really get on my nerves. She was like a couple of years old, and she thought she's something special. She'd come round, act all like little princess and everything. Proper bossy. Didn't seem to like me very much. She'd do everything she could to make slights about me, and you know, it's like, oh, fuck off, I can't be doing with this. She had some other friend who was, it sounds cruel, but something of a non-parson, where she was just your typical parson, like, likes the popular music, enjoys watching the movies, you know, watches the television. Those kinds of people. Like, you know, there was nothing wrong with this other friend, but hey, you know, it is what it is, you know. And so I built chairs, and I built tables, and this Alice girl hates all of them because they're not fucking good enough. Blah, blah, blah. Lauren thinks they're pretty cool, you know, like, that's real smart, you can build these things. Wants a fucking more tables, wants lights. Yeah, sure, I can do that, but they won't be very good because I have to make things out of scrap. Wants a sink. Yeah, I can probably make you a sink. And then one day I got it to go in the house to go and use the bog, and I'm like, no, it's like the only thing we don't have out here now because of you. I should just fucking build one. And she's like, go on then. I'm like, no, I was only joking. And she's like, I know you were only joking, but I dare you to build one. I'm like, nah, you know, I'd rather not because I get fucking yelled at. And she's like, why? Because you can't. I'm like, you what? She's like, why? It's just because you can't. I'm like, don't tell me I can't. Yeah, but you can't, can you? I bet you can't make one. I'm like, I've met everything else. Like, when I say I can't do that, go on then. No, because you can't. I'm like, I'll fucking show you who can't. And so I sat and I thought about it, and I figured, well, it's probably never going to see any use, so I don't have to do a good job, and I don't have a whole lot of stuff. So yeah, sure, I can build like a bog. Like, doesn't really have to work. Like, so I looked at what trash I had, like, you know, available to me in the corner and around the estate, and is that a workshop? No, of course not. It's a double tower. And I got a piece of paper and I sketched her out what I was going to do, and she's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. I'm like, okay, you sure? Because, you know, once I put holes through this, it's easy to make a new hole. It's not easy to make an existing hole in, like, a material difference. So, you know, if you change your mind about something, then I might not be able to do it. And she's like, oh no, it's fine as it is, like, that'll work. And I'm like, oh, okay then, cool, well, I guess I'll put this together, like, in a few minutes. And I'm like, well, shit, this is going to be like a 10-minute job at most. I didn't have many tools back then. You know, I'm like, well, this will be a 10-minute job at most, you know, and then we'll laugh about it and it'll be done with. And then I can go back to not, like, doing this because I've got other things I'd rather fucking do. And so I wander over to the corner of my garden. I, like, get this dog bowl that has a crack in it, like, it's right in the middle, in the base of it, and I'm like, right, I can put it all through there. We'll use a 22mm tank connector. 22mm pipe is not very big. I'm trying to think what the equivalent imperial size is, but I honestly can't remember. So this is the thing, like, plumbing has been metric for years, but it's also still imperial. It's definitely not very big. I mean, it can't even be half-inch. It'd be half-inch at most. Oh no, we should drive at night, shouldn't we, because of the the engine situation. But I don't even think it's half inch. You know, it's quite small. Anyway, so I do this. Finding flush tank connectors for any pipe size is actually really hard. So I was like, do I really want to use that part on this? But then I'm like, no. I totally want, because I wanted to be a plumber. You've got to remember this. I had plenty of plumbing supplies, mostly that I'd just nicked out of skips. And I'm like, no, it's never going to get used anyway, so I'll just get it back, you know, in a couple of days. And so I do this. I sit this dog bowl on a few bricks. I run a bit of scrap 22mm like towards the drain vaguely, and it's like, right, cool, now I can pour water down it. It technically works. And this Lauren comes over and she's like, well, that's no good. Why? Where's the tissue going to go? Oh, no, you're not going to use it anywhere. Throw it under a bush. Well, that's gross. Yeah, but you're not going to use it anywhere. Well, might. You won't, so who cares? Like, it's done. I'm not done with it. I told you couldn't do it. Really? Well, now you're going there. You know not to fucking push those buttons. So I sketched it up again. Like, look, the farthest I can go is 40mm, inch and a half. It's the farthest I can go with it, like, because you know, it's what I have on hand. It's a very common pipe size. I can't go up to like 83mm. That's really uncommon and expensive. I can't go up to like, you know, 4-inch, because like A, I wouldn't be able to attach it to this dinky fucking dog bowl, and B, I don't have any, and C, it's really fucking expensive, and I'm not buying shit for this because I have no money anyway. And she's like, oh yeah, well, it'll have to do because it's no good. And I met this other friend, like this chubby chick. You might know about her. She's the one the light bulb exploded on me when I was trying to bang her a few years later. This was like the first time I met her. And like, I'm there trying to gouge this hole digger to put a 40mm tank connector in, and she comes round. Like, I know she's stood behind me, and I'm not saying anything, so I'm like, oh, she's probably just here to fucking yell at me or something. And she's like, what you doing? I'm like, you don't want to know. She's like, you're making a toilet. Lauren told me. I'm like, yeah, it's just a joke, you know. It's a waste of my time. I don't know why I'm bothering. And she's like, why are you doing that? Like, well, what? Why are you doing that? Because there's already pipe there. I'm like, yeah, I know, but Lauren said the tissue won't go down. And she's like, do you not know how girls do it? It's like, Lauren, I've seen you do it. I know full well how it works. You insisted on showing me like the first fucking week we met. And like, you know, this chubby girl, she's like, well, why is she upset about the tissue? I'm like, well, I don't know. She's not going to use it anyway. She's like, can't you just throw it under a bush? Well, that's what I said to her. The bushes are right next to it, and she's never going to use it anyway. She's like, well, you can totally just throw it under a bush. I'm like, well, yeah, but, you know, this is Lauren, and you know what she's like, so I've got to do this now. And so I go up to the larger pipe size, and Lauren's like, oh, that's no good. Why? It's on bricks. Right? Wouldn't be very comfortable. Who cares? Like, you're never going to sit on it, and even if you did, you'd be there like 30 seconds at most. Yeah, but it needs a seat, because so I had to build this wooden box. And like, I'd set the dog bowl on top of it, because she's like, no, I don't trust the bricks, they might fall over. It's like, fucking as I'm working on this prissy Alice girl comes round. This is like the next fucking day or something. And I didn't know she'd come round until I heard that, oh my god, that is so disgusting, Lauren. I'm like, oh shit, Lauren, why do you have to tell her? And then she comes marching over, oh, I can't believe you're doing that. Oh my god, that is so horrible. I'm like, good. It's like, well, I think it's awful. You've said. I'm not going to use it. I should hope not. I'm a girl. Really? No, that's news to me. Well, I am, and girls don't do that because it's outside. Oh, that's good to know, you know. I'm glad that you wouldn't inconvenience yourself so much. Can you go away now? Yeah, well, I don't think you should be doing that. Yeah, I'd rather be doing something else as well, and I'd definitely rather not be listening to you now, fuck off. Which is just there lecturing me, and it's really getting on my fucking nerves. And then my mother finds out and goes fucking berserk at me, but I'm like, well, I can't not do it because, like, Lauren won't let me live it down, and this prissy Alice wouldn't, to be honest. Like, even though she's like, oh, I don't want you doing this, she'd just be like, aha, you got to stop doing that. So it's like, well, I have to keep doing it, and just hope my mother forgets all about it. Stupid Lauren, why did you have to tell her about this? I didn't. Well, somebody must have done, and it wouldn't have been Alice, because she won't set foot in my fucking house for some reason, because she says it's gross. She won't go in anyone's house, it was weird. Ah, please have a radiator. And this chubby Samantha comes back, it's like, well, what's the problem with it now? I'm like, oh, it's like uncomfortable or something, and like... Because now Lauren's like, no, it's no good, it needs to be like under the wooden thing with like, so you can sit on the wood. And so I've had to carve with just a hacksaw blade this hole that perfectly matches the top of the fucking crappy little plastic bowl thing. And it's like, well, why is she so bothered about it? I'm like, I don't know, because it's fucking Lauren, that's why. Well, it'd just be like doing it in a potty, wouldn't it? Well... yeah, I assume so. How the fuck do you remember what it's like to do that? Oh, that was rabbits. I'm getting back in the car. This just walks off laughing. I'm starting to like this girl. She's pretty cool. She just doesn't give a fuck. She's sensible. She doesn't get upset by these things, you know. I'm like, nah, I quite like her. She's pretty neat. And of course I get lectures off Alice again. Oh my god, that's so gross now. So it's like, fucking. And so I get this new thing done, and like, you know, it's encased in this wooden box now. And Lauren's like, well, I don't want it there. I want it in the garden with the rest of the stuff. It's like, you fucking bitch. Why? Told you couldn't do it. Oh god, I'll fucking move it. It's too low. Probably because somebody had me sink it under the fucking wood. It needs to be higher, so I will prop the wooden box up on the bricks that I had left. That will have to do. Doesn't flush. Of course it don't. Pour a bucket down it or something. No, that doesn't count. It needs a flush. Oh, just... So I managed to find the fucking siphon thing that they have in the cisterns, and it's a bit knackered, but it's like, it'll do, you know. My poor car. And I rigged this up, and I've got this big water tank like outside on fucking stilts, and it's about the last of my fucking wood, and you know, it's right there, and it's fucking, I've had to fabricate this weird fitting to make it fit like inside the fucking bowl. And so I had a pull chain on the cistern, I pull it to see if it works, and it's just water goes all over my head because the cistern broke off the side of the fence. And Lauren's like, there's no walls around it. It's like, oh, for fucking fuck's sake! So I built those, and then I put the cistern back up, and I'm like, well, let's test it again. And so I pulled the chain, and this time I ducked my head, only for the water to shoot down into the bowl and launch upwards in my face. Thankfully, it's just fucking rainwater. It's just like, right, we need to make it weaker. Let's drill holes in the siphon so it pulls a bit of air. Okay, that's done. I've gouged holes in it with the end of my screwdriver. Now let's pull the chain again. Great, now it doesn't fucking pull the siphon anymore. I ended up fixing that with chewing gum. Then I have to run the fucking waste pipe over to the drain because I know Lauren's not going to fucking, like, consider it, you know, genuine if it doesn't have that. And I remember sitting on the floor in the fucking mud, and all I can hear is this fucking Alice bitch playing, no, I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging from the passenger side of his best friend's ride, trying to holler at me. It's like, hell, if I hear that fucking song again. And so I got up and I marched up. I'd had enough, and I just picked my hacksaw up. Oh shit! I picked my hacksaw up, I marched over there, ripped the CD out of my CD player, and I remember bending it in my hand and being like, if you don't stop playing this fucking song, I'll just pop her in her face. It's like, how dare you talk to me like that? I'm a girl, and I'm like, I don't care. You'll be on the floor if I hear that song again. If you break my CD, you will buy me a new one. I won't see you try and make me. Just wasn't in the mood, and I walked back over, and what do you know? I've broken my fucking hacksaw, so I had to do the rest of all the sawing with the blade, would just fucking tape right round the fucking hacksaw blade, which also fucking snapped and stabbed me in the fucking fingers, because why wouldn't that fucking happen? By now my mother forgot about the things, at least I wasn't getting yelled at by her, but nearly every fucking day for several weeks I was getting Alice coming around being like, oh my god, that is so horrible, I can't believe you're still doing that stupid thing. I'm definitely never going to use it, because I think it's just awful, and I don't think, it's like, wouldn't you just fuck off and find somebody else to go and fucking annoy? And finally, after all this time, I make it. Finally, we've got a fucking radiator. I make it to the last, like, probably half a foot of, like, waste pipe that I have to put in. And it's like, oh, this is glorious. It's nearly done. And now I can stop being fucking harassed about it. And I realise I've got no fucking 40mm left. It was like 6 inches to go or something. And I'm like, well, it's already a bodge because I'm just putting it down the fucking drain for, like, the kitchen sink and everything. So, like, maybe I just put a piece of guttering there, and it's never going to get used anyway, so it's not like it's going to matter. Yeah, and if I do that and Lauren notices, well, I could reduce it to 32mm, I think that's 1.25 inches. Like, yeah, but then, you know, if she tries putting tissue down it, then, because she probably will put tissue in and pull that chain just to see what it does. So, nah, because then it might block, and then it's, oh, it's not good. And I remember, like, you know, some of my mates coming round, all fucking lads, and we're just, like, staring at, like, why does this need to be this over the top? Like, what was wrong with just peeing in that conifer at the end of the garden, you know? I know what girls are like, it's fucking Lauren, you know what she's like, you know? And of course now, I don't have any more of this pipe, and I can't get any. It's the most common sized pipe probably, but I can't fucking get any of it. I'm not spending money on it, I don't have money. And my tools are broken, and I'd rather spend money on replacing my fucking tools. So now I've got Lauren every day I get to school, and she's there. Is it done yet? No, it's not. Like, I went to sleep, you didn't go home until 11 PM. I went to bed, and then I got up and I came to school. When's it going to be done? I told you I don't know. When I can get some more of that fucking pipe. Oh, when will that be? Will you just leave me alone? Yeah, but when's it going to be done? Because I want to see it done. Like, can you finish it today? No, I fucking can't. I had this for weeks. And weeks and fucking weeks, and I had Alice, oh, why don't you just tear it down, it's horrible, it's the last thing I've ever seen, it's the most stupid idea I think anyone's had. It's like, well, it's Lauren's idea, take it up with her. I think it's gross. I can't even imagine doing anything so disgusting. It's like, yeah, good for you, just fucking go away. Who said you could come in my garden? Because I don't remember ever inviting you here once. And, yeah, Lauren's I'd get home from school, I'd eat some food, and no sooner would I take the last bite of my fucking tea, would the door be fucking banged on. Is it done yet? Is it done yet? It's like, I just got home from fucking school the same time as you. When's it going to be done? And then finally, I was walking to the shop one day, and I heard this noise in somebody's back garden, and I look, they've got the back gate open, and they've just dragged this kitchen unit with a fucking sink in it, and they're just dumping it in the back garden. And I'm like, dude, wait. And this guy's like, yeah. I'm like, can I steal some of the pipe off that? He's like, take whatever the fuck you want, mate, it's going to the tip. I'm like, really? It's like, just whatever you fucking want. All this is going to the tip, so just have at it. I'm like, you do not realise how much hassle you have saved me. So I stole all of the 40mm. Every last bit that he had. He was pulling more of it out of the house and just throwing it, have that. Don't want it there, fucking take it. Get it out of here, it's less for me to put in my fucking car. That's fucking great. That is fucking absolutely fucking brilliant. Thank you so much, man. So, it's just fucking pipe. I'm like, well, yeah, you don't realise the implications. And it'd take me at least fucking 40 minutes or something to explain them to you. There's a lot of boxes in here for some reason. And this wonderful, wonderful guy gave me all of the fucking waste pipe that he had. And I go home and I'm like, I'm not going to tell Lauren, I'm just going to have an easy day because I've had a fucking stressful day at fucking school. You know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it easy, I'm going to do nothing, I'm going to say nothing, and then, like, you know, maybe I'll work on it tomorrow or something. And the telly's on, and it's getting dark outside, and fucking Mrs. Doubtfire's on. I hate that movie anyway, but I think I probably hate it double just because of this bullshit. Or I'm sat watching it thinking, wow, this movie's pretty bad. I mean, it has Robbie Williams in it, so of course it sucks. And then Lauren fires up, when's it going to be done? And I'm just like, can you just fucking leave it alone for like one fucking day, please? Yeah, but still not finished yet, and you said you'd do it. I don't want to work on it, I've had enough. It's just like, yeah, and because you can't finish it, because you're no good at it, and I knew you wouldn't be able to do it, and I remember just not saying a word, and getting up, and going outside, and just being like, I'm going to fucking finish this now, it's dark, I can hardly fucking say what the fuck is it. It was the most angriest sawing I've ever done, with my fingers just blistering from holding a hacksaw blade with a bit of fucking PVC tape around it. And I had some more wood to do, and it's all rotten and burnt because a lot of it had come from a previous project, and it was just fences that fell over and stuff, and then I burnt, and yeah, it wasn't really very fucking elegant. And at last, this story's going to last more than this one part, so I'm probably going to stop telling you it in a minute, and I'll resume in the next one. At last, it is complete, and I'm looking at this monstrosity. It stands about 5 foot high because it has these walls around it with this little fucking roof over the top. You know, it's got this water tank that sits even fucking higher, like on stilts next to it. And I'm like, I don't know how they're holding the weight of all that fucking water. It's held up by sheer fucking pries just to stop fucking Lauren yelling at me. She hasn't had to have a fucking water system fall on her fucking head. You know. But at last I'm done, and my tools can fucking, like, you know, rot away. I'll just chuck that saw blade down the garden and I'll get a new fucking saw. My one fucking screwdriver's bent and most of the tip's worn off because I've been using it to put holes in things because I don't have a fucking drill. And you'd think that would be the end of it, wouldn't you? Well, it wasn't. But I'm going to just cut it there, and I'm going to fucking tell you the rest of it next time or something. I'm just going to leave you wondering, like, did she use it? What about this Alice girl? Did she smash it up? She said she would smash it. She did say she'd destroy it. You know, did your mother come and tear it down? What about, like, this and that? And what about all the, like, you know, silly things you said about? Oh, we'll fucking get to him. Don't you worry, we'll fucking get to him. One thing I did find funny, though, is, like, a few years later, this dude I knew had a workshop, like, he built, and he put one in his workshop, which was very well built. It was all stainless steel and everything, like, it looked like a fucking prison one. But he made it himself, like, it was riveted together. It was, he made a lot of the same mistakes I did, and I just never told him. Like, he never knew that that thing I built had ever existed. And I was just like, nah, he's got to learn the hard way. Just like I had to. Yeah, this is why, you know, maybe it's why I'm glad that I don't really hang around with girls as much now. I still do, but not for such extended periods of time if I can help it. But as I say, I'll complete the story next time. It might actually go on for more time than that. In the meantime, I think we need to change our focus back on the game, because if you didn't notice in all that, we actually fixed our car. We have a fucking radiator now. We're making progress. I don't see another car. There is a bus. It's a gutted bus, so we can't take it. Plus it's a bendy bus, and to be honest, I think we've blown our chance to drive a bus just because of how fucked up the terrain is. Now, we are going to change car, but have you seen a car? I ain't seen a car. We started at 5:30, I think, in this. So where do we want to be? 5:80? I think we'll do it. I have over 10 minutes left. I probably do have time to tell you a very truncated version of the story, but like I say, I'm not going to. I'm going to save it for next time. You can hear of one of the most stressful fucking things I've ever had to go through in my life, followed by one of the most stressful things I've ever had to go through in my life, followed by one of the really most stressful things I've ever had to go through in my life. Things which are now very funny looking back, but weren't really very funny at the time. Oh, jeez. Yeah, life's horrible sometimes, really is. Really is. Even in this game it's horrible. I mean, look how far did we drive with no radiator? How far did we go with that radiator missing? And to be honest, you know, I won't have anyone saying I did shit. We were only 8k fucking short. We were only 8k short. We fucking did. I consider that a win. Technically, we're still ahead. We're still winning. We are winners around here, all of us. Because we're in this together. I guess. Even though I'm the one who seems to do all the driving. Can't you hurry up and get your driving licence? Ah, fuck having a licence. I don't have one. I actually do have a provisional in real life. I'm going to do my moped test at the end of the year. Now I'm going to get a moped. Terrorise the neighbourhood a bit. Yeah. One thing that bugs me, I want to have a manual clutch, and I hate not having a manual clutch. But that's alright, because, you know, I'll just work my way up to bigger stuff until I can have whatever the fuck I want. Just over the years, we're like, no, I want something bigger now, and then, oh, I want something bigger now, and oh, I want something bigger now. I'm not one of these go real fast sorts. I'm more of a cruise along on something with lots of chrome on it type of guy, but you know, you get the idea. We'll have to start with our cheap China thing. Well, not really. 1960s Honda that somebody's chucking out and is in about 10 vajillion pieces. But that's alright, because I'm not scared of engineering tasks, and well, if I don't have to pay for the damn thing, then that's saving me a load of money. And they say, oh, I don't have to pay fucking tax on it. So it's not worth about 40 quid working. Because it's not like the cub or anything. Those are the ones people pay for. I can't remember what model this is. It's just a piece of shit nobody wants. So, oh, well, I'll see if I can. I'll have it. As long as it goes right. Yeah, it's getting night time. Though it's a bit the first time we can actually skip night time in ages. I only have about 10 minutes left. We're going to make target distance for once. We actually are going to make it to the target distance. Unless you watch us have another physics bug and it tar our fucking radiator off. You know, if that happens, I will just quit the game. I'll go back, like, to before we ever got this car and just start over from there. No, I wouldn't. I would just accept it, but I'd come up with, I'd maybe go back to like some other save or something, I don't know. Like, I'd not go back that far, but I'd maybe go back to when we had the radiator. Because I could probably get to where we are now in just one part if I did that and then drove like hell. I don't know, there might actually be a stretch now from where we were at the last save we'd done before the radiator came off. So it's not like all the auto saves keep, they only have one slot that's overwritten every time, so you know, there is that to keep in mind. Oh shit, slow down, slow down. Hold it. There you go. Oh, that felt like the bumper came off. It's okay, we're going to skip the night. for the first time ever, like in however long. Seems quite steep. I'm gonna roll a cigarette. Here we go. That cigarette will forever be burning. I'd love to know where he got these, because I want some. Like, they keep on burning, but the cigarette never goes, like, down. So imagine that. You could leave your cigarette, like, you know, say you get to a shop and it's like, no smoking, because people are fucking... Why can't the non-smokers just go outside, like, if they don't like the smell? Seems far to me. You know, I don't like the smell of your fucking high school in a tin that you wear, but, you know, there's nothing I can do about that, apparently. It's, like, horrible for me to complain about it. So, well, fuck you. Yeah, I'm driving with the brake on again, but, you know, and you could just put the cigarette, like, in your pocket, and it would still be lit when you came out the shop, and it wouldn't have lost any of its length. You can hold cigarettes in your pocket, like, if you know, you hold it between two fingers, and usually it's sticking, you know... I can't remember what the top of your hand's called, but we'll just call it the top, assuming the palm's the bottom. So what you do is you turn the cigarette, so the cherry, the bit that's lit, is sort of pointing towards your palm, and you curl your fingers over, and you can stick your hand in your pocket with your cigarette lit. It's a thing, you know, you used to do if you don't want people to know you were, like, smoking somewhere. If you knew they were coming, you'd do that, so they couldn't see your cigarette. They smell the smoke, so they... Oh shit. They could figure, well, you have been smoking. I'm not stopping for you this time, aliens, I'm sorry. Wow, they're going for it. That one was blue, wasn't it? That's definitely blue instead of green. Wow, jeez, they really are gunning for it, them ones. What the fuck? Must be busting for a slash or something. I wonder how alien girls do. See, I would watch that. Like, just out of curiosity, because, you know, I mean, how does it work? You know, nothing dodgy there, just, you know, the same way, you when you're a kid, you watch your dog do it once, and then it's boring, and you watch an horse do it, like, because it's like, oh, that's a, you know, that same way, just, well, how does that work? So yeah, I'd watch aliens, like, just do, like, bodily functions, just, like, once, just so I knew how they operated, you know? Plus the fact, we'd probably make money out of that, because, like, imagine if it was significantly different to, like, humans, and these aliens are, like, on this planet now. Well, there's probably no facilities, that's probably why they're rushing down the road, because, like, all the outhouses, like, don't fit them. You know, like, alien... slit is probably like the wrong shape or something, or it's in the wrong place. Like, they look at that and they're like, how am I supposed to, you know, it's like on the back of their calf or something, you know, like, well, how am I supposed to fit that on there? Like, how does this work? Oh, we didn't lose anything. So I had a beat in this car, I feel really bad for it. And you see, this is where I come in, like, you know, capitalising the business opportunity, like, fear not, alien girls, I will manufacture you a solution, and we'll just replace all them crappy outhouses with them, because I'm a guy and I don't need those, I just go in the desert. And I'll make lots of money, in a world where money is fucking worthless, but still, I can pay me in some other way, like, just give me, like, alien technology for my car. And make it go, like, you know, 1,000 kilometres an hour or something. That would work. Yeah, I could get behind that. Oh, fuck it, just give me one of them flying saucers, but with, like, a tractor beam on it, so I could, like, you know, just pick things up. Yeah, we'd be fucking set with that. Especially if we had, like, a really good navigational computer on it, and they gave me instructions how to use it. I just think of all the places we could go and all the things we've got. You know, fuck the apocalypse. Fuck, we're out of food, I'll just go on that planet and steal ours, you know. It's nothing the aliens probably wouldn't do. Man, the commentary in this really is pretty horrible, isn't it? Like, I'm not sure if we've quite reached the levels that we're at in that fucking Chamber Potty of Secrets playthrough, but I think we must be close to being on the same fucking level as that. It's just awful. I apologise. Yeah, right, I don't. I'm not sure I have time left to go to the next building, you know, but I'm gonna fucking try. Like, I should probably stop there, but no, I'm gonna go. Just, you know, I don't think I can get that to tick over to 600 in the shorter amount of time we've got, but we'll get it as close as we can. I have about 3 minutes. There's no way we're doing fast enough to do that, because we're doing under 3 kilometres a minute, so yeah, there's no way we're going to get there, but like I say, we'll give it as close as we can. Car, come on. Nice save, if I do say so myself. Oh, we've got hills now, that's going to hinder us even more, but yeah, you know, we can probably make it to 595. I'd consider that a victory. That should be enough to compensate for what we fucked up on last time. It is nice to have the car back. I think this radiator works slightly better than the original one, you know. Maybe. I might be misremembering where the gauge used to sort of sit at, but it might actually be a marginally better radiator. That would be pretty neat, wouldn't it, actually, if that was the case. I mean, you can fit any radio. We can fit, like, the truck and the bus one in here, even though it'd stick through the trud, or whatever the fucking thing back there is called. I don't know. I really don't know. What the fuck would you call that? The engine door cover thingy. I don't know. Who gives a fuck anyway? We know what we're on about. We know what it does. Even like in real life, I'm not good at, like, you know, if I work on an engine, I don't remember the name of all the parts. I just remember what they do and where they're supposed to go. Like, I can totally work on an engine. I understand how it works. I just don't necessarily remember what bits are called. So, you know, I'll sit there and be like, that's the spinny thingy and that's the fucking make that happen thing, like, you know. And I don't think I'm the only person who does that. It's just, yeah. Yeah, cars, as long as you know what you're on about and the people you're talking to know what you're on about. You know, that's the wily bastard. Yeah, speed's not great here. That's it, we'll change car, but we haven't seen a single car. That is a bus. I think this is a good place to stop. Now, I don't think we have any diesel, so I don't think we can take this bus unless it just starts. Let's try that before we call this part. It's a yellow one. The first bus I ever driven in this game was yellow. So maybe... it's not in too bad a shape. Oh, it doesn't run. Does it have coolant? There's oil in the coolant. Does it have oil? It doesn't have anything. Does it have... it won't run on that. And unfortunately it's downhill that way, so we can't roll it and hope to find another building. That blows. Yeah, so we probably can't take the bus. I do think we've lost our chance. Hey, that's the radiator for my car! Is it technically worse? Yeah, but it's the correct radiator. We're putting it in. Even I think it loses coolant, and this one generally doesn't. We're going to do it just because it's the right one. And then I'm going to save and get out of here. We're probably over by a minute or a few seconds or so. I don't think gives a fuck. We made good fucking progress. We actually did it. We fixed the car, so at least now we're in the clear a little bit. Hopefully we find a diner or something next time. They usually have a car or two. What were we up to? 30 fucking 7? Yeah, we're 38 now. For episode 41. Let's see, I'm supposed to upload a part today. 2175. 41... 2175. Yeah, we did about 64k. That's not bad going, so we're still ahead now. I'm iTreason, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.